I'm recording this. Cool. So I think like last week we gone through the automation rules. So in that automations, we gone through the process builder, workflows and flows and the email template. In the flow, like again, there are a lot of things we can do using the flow. Maybe like have you guys tried to publish like any community with the flow? You guys tried it or no?
No, Sampath, not yet. I've not come to that yet.
Okay, because you guys has to test it your capability. So on the flow, you can try to do it like yourself some of the flow so that like you come to know. Otherwise, like if you're not trying it, I don't think so. Like you can get familiar with that tool. So you need to try it like on the tool. Then only like you will get a familiar. Otherwise, like yeah. Okay. So let's move on to
But
the.
Sampath, in the Trailblazers, those lessons which you have given, in that there will be exercises, right, to do these?
Yes, like if you look at the flow basics, flow builder, lightning flow, these three, and also there is a one project which is building a flow.
Okay.
So
So with that we'll be able to familiarize, right?
exactly. So if you go through this, like yes, definitely like you'll get familiar with that.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So there are like plenty of flow already is there. Like as soon as like I'm not sure whether they mentioned that exercise. Okay, I didn't add that exercise. So hopefully like I will put that today. So maybe I think like, yeah, it has to be a previous day exercise. So I would say like a day 8. So the day 8 exercise is the flow one, automation one basically. And when is the last time we discussed? So I would say 7, 8, 9, 9th, right? Let me check my calendar. Just give me a
Yes,
second.
10th, 9th
Okay.
or 10th?
No, it's 9th, 10th. There is no class.
I will just check it. Yeah. So Friday we didn't connect it. So Thursday we had a discussion. I think 10th.
No, Sampath.
No, Thursday also we didn't have class.
Yeah.
It was 9th was last.
Okay. So then I will put 9th December. So day 8 tile blushes. So okay. So basically like this will give you like an entire flow. Okay. So go through it and okay. Again, if you have any doubt, I'm happy to help with that. Just go through it and let me know. Like I told you last time also, just try to publish one community and let me know. So again, up to you guys. So make a practice, yeah. Okay, so today let's focus on the remaining items, which is lead automations, case automations, email to case. Like these are all not part of like automation tools, but again, it's good to know. Like let's go through the first lead automations. So if I look at the automation process tool, okay, yeah, I think like we yet to go through the macro. So let's go through the macro also, and then we will go through like these are all it's easy. I will try to finish maximum by today all this. And today, yeah, some of like we have to close the complete automation tool. And tomorrow we'll crack on with not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll crack on with the report and dashboards. And then following week, I think like, yeah, we can finish the topics. Okay. So
tomorrow or day after, because you said Wednesday is class.
Yeah, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So Thursday. So alternative days. So for them, like a Monday, Tuesday, I will put it over here so that like it will be clear. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So for that batch, like I'm going to have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's a new batch basically. So yeah, for you guys, just Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I will put this in the WhatsApp. So yeah, we will follow the same order until to finish the sessions. Yeah. Okay. So now let's focus on the macro. So again, macro also one of the automation tool. I am not sure whether you guys are aware of the VBA tool. So there is a concept called VBA, Visual Basic Administration. So which is the basic fundamental language for Microsoft. So they started with the VBA. Then after that, Visual Studio. Within the Visual Studio, they have a plenty of versions. Now 2020, like yeah, they have a lot of versions till now. But the basic version for Microsoft is VBA. Still now, even like the Google Word document or in Word, you can use the VBA. Even if you want to automate the Excel sheet, you will see here, there is a macro. So you can go and write your macros. Within the Excel sheet, it will be a record basically, like record a new macro, use the absolute reference or relative reference. Relative reference means it will convert as a formula field. Absolute reference means, so yeah, this is just within the Salesforce, it's a macro. So within the Word document or Excel sheet, you can write a macro. The similar concept, generally like a macro means it will help you to automate the multiple manual process into a single button click. So let's say like I will just record one macro. So if I go for a tools, macro, just record it. So what I'm doing, I'm selecting this cell and I'm making as a bold, and also I am converting into a background color, like I am filling with the green color. Okay. So save. Testing macro. So shortcut also we can give like, yeah, I don't want any shortcut at the moment. Okay. The macro is saved. If you want to edit it, because it's a different browser, so it's not allowing me to edit it. But again, so now if I want to run the macro, let's say like I will just remove the format painter and I will put the format painter. Now, as soon as if I run the macro, so within the macro, testing macro. So continue. So it's asking for the authorization. So yeah, I will just allow. Yeah. So macro test. See here, I didn't do anything. So let's say again, if I go and make it like a format painter. Now, if I run, as soon as I run a macro, see, it get updated automatically with the background color. Even you can do lot many things. So if I can go and let me record one more macro. This is within the Excel sheet. So let's say like I want to make a trigger, or maybe like I want to make a table. Yeah. So then within the table, like I will type testing and I will make it like both different colors. So yeah. Okay. And that's it. I will save this macro testing 2. Now I am going to remove this completely. So sorry, I will just keep it this, and I am going to put the format. Format painter. Okay. Now, if I go and run the macro, see, within a second, it put like all the informations, and then yeah, it's done. And for all product, the green color, that is a different macro. If I run this macro, done. So the basically macro will help you to automate your day-to-day process. The same way in Salesforce also you can do the macro. So quickly I will show you that. So go to settings. Go to an employee. Yeah. So for this employee, I want to send an email. Okay. I'm in this page. If I want to send an email, I have to click on the email and I have to enter the subject and I have to enter the to address. Yeah. So, and I will choose the email template. So, and then finally I need to click on the send button in order to send an email, right? Right. So the same thing we can automate using the macro. So how do we do that? So if I go for a macro settings first, just enable this, then go to macro, there will be a macro tab. Yeah, you will have a macro tabs over here. Here you can create a folders, like if you need a different folder, like you can go and create a folders. So at the moment there is no macro. So let's create a new macro. So to create a new macro, you need to add the macro in your utility bar. So this is my utility bar in these applications. And here I have included the macros. So this macro, while creating an applications, we included the utility bar, right? So here you can go and create a new macro basically. So if I go for recent one, so because there is no records. So if I go for an employee page, see here, it's asked me to create one, no macro yet for this record. So create a macro. Okay, so I will say employee automation. I can put all the steps and everything, what it does and everything. Just save. Now you have to put the instructions. Okay, so what type of instruction you want to do? Like the macro will do all the instructions. So what you want to do? Okay, so click on this. Basically add instructions here. As soon as if you click, it just put this tab. Then insert email template. So all email template. I will go and put that right. Yeah. And then add instructions, basically additional more instructions. So you need to take this personal email ID. 1 minute. Yeah. That is already done. So again, it's asking for an instruction. So I clicked on wrong place, but yeah, I will just click on the to address. Okay. Maybe I may have to close this. This also I may have to close this. So initially I just click on the subject will be this, and these are all the informations. And then next one is just click on the to address. So basically here I have to insert. Let me put my email ID. So let's say service Salesforce 2017 at Gmail. Service Salesforce 2017 at gmail.com. Okay. And save it. Oh, I didn't yet finish the send button. So I will go here. Where is that send button? Yeah, click on this. That is a start actions, submit actions. Yeah, save. Okay. So I'm done with all the actions basically. Now, if I go back here, see here, there is a one warning, but let's see like what warning it's giving. After this macro run, this action cannot be undone. Okay, yeah, that's okay. So the step one, basically select an email template and HTML body template, and then enter the email ID basically, then it will send an email actions. Okay, so these are all the instructions. Again, if you want to modify that instructions, always you can go and modify it. You can add a different actions or additional actions. Yeah. So, or you can add a logic, different logic. There are a lot many things you can perform basically.
Sampath, here can we able to do for the dynamic emails? Because here we are giving only hard-coded email, right?
All the automation can be used only classic. So Lightning Experience email cannot be used for automations.
No, I'm asking about this one, Sampath. We are giving only one email address.
Yeah, but again, yes. So for the contact template, it has to pick the email. That if you go for a contact object, this is a custom object, employee object. That's why I entered my email ID. Generally, like if you go for a contact, so the system has to pick automatically. That is the benefit of using the contact object. So if I go for a contact object, so as soon as if you enter the email, like if I click on the email, it will pick my email ID, this current user email ID automatically.
Okay.
But this is the custom objects. We didn't put any automation on that to pick the email ID. That's why at the moment I typed my email ID statically.
So can we send to group also? Sampath,
Yes. So you can select, if you want to select a multiple users, you have to build the mass email. So basically you have to build a mass email functionality, but those functionality available on the contact object. So if I go to the contact, so here like I can select list of records, and there is options like send a list email.
Okay.
So this send a list email available only on contact, not on the custom object. So if you need a custom object, you need to go for an app exchange product, or you have to build it.
So but with macros we can do that.
Macros also again, so it won't take dynamically, right?
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
It won't take like a dynamically one record only it has to do. So if you want to send a mass email, no. So you have to go for any list email options. So if you have a list email options, then using macro, you can automate that. Basically select all the records and then click on the button. You can automate that.
Oh, okay, got it.
But you at the moment you don't have a functionality itself, then you cannot automate it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now if I go here, if I run a macro, I can see one macro. So just click on it, run macro. See, macro was applied, email sent. So now if I go back to my email, see here, but again, the fields are all empty. I don't know why it's not picking up the fields. It has to pick the field if you use the email template. Maybe this email template, oh, sorry. This email template is a different email template, basically. This email template we used for an employee object, employee or customer object, not on the employee object. So while building this template, I used the property like the inside the name, email, mobile, these fields coming from the customer, not from the employee object. But the macro is running on the employee object. That's why these fields are empty. But as soon as like if you create a macro, if you use the right template, definitely yes, it will take like all the values and it will send an email. Not only that, again, if you want to create another macro, so let's say like you are in this particular record. Now let's create a new macro. Add a task. So let's say like there are some regular activity, you want to automate that. So you can use the macro to automate that. So daily routine jobs, like there are users like now what you need to do, you are going to create a task. Okay. So select the task actions. Okay. Add instructions again. So subject will be, I will say call. Then another actions. This one already. Already this is done. Then due date will be, I would say always today date. So the system has to pick like a relative or here. If it's a relative, so you can put days from today or like you can put it like based on 1 day from today like that. So but I will go ahead with the today date. Another add instructions. So let's say all this picked up automatically. The status will be the same and click save. Okay, save options. Now this is adding one more macro. So if I go for any employee, okay, now you can simply run the macro, which is add task, run a macro. So here, done. So it will run and it will choose the calendar date, like a calendar date, like on a specific system that today. And there are like instead of automated, you can reference the field also. So you can modify, there are so many things you can done using macro. Again, through macro, you can call Apache and others. There are plenty of stuff available within the macro also if you go for in-depth level. The one which I showed you, it's just an high level, but if you go for an in-depth, you will get plenty. Okay, just go through at least high level, and because you need to know like at least the macro. We are not going to discuss like the full detail, but if somebody asks like have you worked on the macro, yes, definitely, yes, you go through it. And then if you want to know more, definitely there are like trialed modules available for macros. So please go through it like a later stage, not now, but again, but out of this from the macro, you won't get any exam questions or anything. Okay, so that's all for the macros. So now let's move on to the next topic. Any question on the macros?
So is it that much famous like workflow process builder, Sampath?
Because already we have a workflow and process builder, but yeah, people like not relying on the macros. Okay. So even I never used like a macros. So only I think one customer we deployed it, but not all the customers. And there are so many people like they don't know what is macro and they are not going to use it. They don't know the power of macros. That's why like they are not using it.
Okay.
So, but like, even on click on the button, you can run the flow or process builder, do the same thing. Like, even less job. But the problem in that, like, you don't know what is doing and everything. But in macro, you can see the real actions. What are the steps is defined, and you can go and modify it. So.
Yeah, it looks easier than other flow and everything, but
up to you, like up to the end user, like the customers, what they want is and what they are looking for it. Based on the requirement, you can choose like any one of the tools. Like there are plenty of tool available, you can go for like any of the tools. Okay, so the next one is auto response rule and assignment rule. So these two rules available only on lead object and case object. So in lead object, you will have an auto response rule, assignment rule, but for case object, you have an auto response rule, assignment rule, escalation rule. So in Salesforce, lead module is basically potential client. So let's assume like you have a website. So from the website, if somebody registered, the information come automatically as a lead. So lead and the case module is a Salesforce Sales Cloud product. Lead is Sales Cloud product and the case is Service Cloud product. Now, let's focus on the lead. Sorry. I will go for any websites, so lightful.com. And there is a sign up page or maybe a contact us page. Sign up page is different here basically. So this is our company product. So now if we go for like a contact us page, where is contact us page? Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm not sure where you put. Okay, get in touch. See here, you can put first name, last name, company, email, and inquiry type. So whether it's a platform features or pricing or Lightful Labs, community and others, but they don't know what is Lightful Labs, maybe, yeah. And then you can submit it. So once, as soon as if you submit it, then that information get posted into Salesforce immediately, and it will assign to our sales representative, which may call you and follow up you. Yeah. How do we automate this basically? So you want to automate from the website inquiry into a Salesforce, right? So how do we automate that? So as an administrator, definitely you can do it, but except this kind of design. So these designs can be done by developers, web developers. So for you guys, like you need to guide them how to do it. That's it. So I will show you now. First, let's focus on the web to lead. Then we'll come back to the assignment rule, then auto response rule. So assignment rule means as soon as the lead is created, immediately we can use this assignment rule to assign that particular lead into one of the internal employee. Auto response rule means once the new lead is created in Salesforce, immediately send an email auto response to a client saying that thanks for your inquiry. One of your sales executive will get in touch with you shortly. Like that, you can send auto response rule from Salesforce. Yeah. So before that, let's focus on the web to lead. Then we will jump into the assignment rule. Then we'll focus on like either automation rule or assignment rule. So at the moment, let's focus on the web to lead. So how do we generate the web to lead? First thing. So to generate the web to lead, again, this is only applicable for lead module, not any other modules. So if you want a different module, you can use a flow to create a public flow website, and they can log in, like on click on the button, you can launch the flow, right? So on click on this button, you can launch the flow. Then they can enter the information through the flow. On click on the submit button, you can store it into a different object. There are multiple ways, but again, web to lead is the standard procedure Salesforce before introducing the flow and other stuff. They are still like using the web to lead. There are more customers already they configured it. And let me show you how to generate the web to lead forms. So to do that,
Sampath, get in touch. The one you said we can build through flow, right? That one, rather than using the web to lead.
That's what I'm saying. So you can use it flow, not an issue.
Oh, okay.
So create a web to lead form. Put all the fields. What are the fields relevant to you? Depends on your the company policies, procedures. Like you can put the relevant informations. So company mobile, I'm going to put a descriptions. And the return URL. After click on the submit button, what is the return URL? So to avoid the spam email, you have to include the reCAPTCHA. So recap, in order to generate the reCAPTCHA, it's a long process. I don't recommend that. Let's leave it at the moment. So the return URL, after click on the submit button, the return URL will be, I'm putting this one, generate it. That's it. It's very simple. So copy this code. Yeah, paste it. And save this file as an HTML. So save as. I will make it like in the desktop. Where is my desktop? So here I'll say HTML, web to lead .html, save. Okay, you can see here there is a post actions. So there is actions, and these are all the hidden field. Organization ID and return URL is the hidden field, and these are all the additional fields. Okay, now let me open that. Yeah, so you got the information. Now let me go and put it. Submit. So here, once if you submitted, the page, it's get redirected into the lightning page. Okay, so now if you go back to the Salesforce, on the lead object. So basically it will be available on the sales. So lead objects, and look for today's lead. You'll see there is one entry, and still it's unread. Unread means it's not opened. So nobody is opened this record. So now what you can do, you can open it and you can see the details. So whatever we entered in the websites, so it get captured, mobile number, email, and open not connected. So at the moment, the lead is assigned to myself. Yeah, so the lead is assigned to myself and it captured like including the descriptions. So like that, you can capture the Web2 lead into a Salesforce. Yep. So any question on this?
So Sampath, if we need to change any fields, then we have to get the help from web designers.
Why you want to change the fields? Like you can go and generate it, no? So while generating the template, like you can choose what fields you need.
Yeah, we can change here, but in the website, if we need to change everything, the look and
The design, yeah, design stuff, like, yes, you cannot design it, right? Like here you can add any fields. What are the fields you want? Like, yeah, you can add it. So the look and feel, like if you want like this, the same look and feel, that one, like you cannot do it. Like you have to rely on the web developers.
Okay.
So like, look at this one. So this is not a nice, right? So you cannot use the similar model to your website. So to put it in the website, like, yeah, you have to go for like a nice design. So for that, you have to go for a web developer. So basically web developer can help you to put that page into a their website. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, Sampath.
Okay. So let's move on to the next topic, which is, now we know how to capture the lead. The next topic will be assignment rule. So our auto response rule. So as soon as the email is received, how the system will send a email to the registered users. See, we can use a workflow to send a registered users, right? So we can use a workflow to send a email to our registered users based on the email field. As soon as the lead is created, so let's say like once the lead is created, using the workflow, you can send immediately to this particular email address saying that like, thanks for your inquiry, like, yeah, you can achieve that one in the workflow. But instead of doing the workflow, Salesforce provide a easy way to configure the auto response rules. So just simply look for auto response rule. Lead auto response rule. Yeah. Okay. Here you can go and create a new rule. Make sure it's active. Lead auto response rule. Save. So within the rule, you can have a multiple rule entries. You can have as many rule entries you want. So I'm going to put short order 1. So based on the order, the rule will execute. So if you have a 20 rule entries, you can have a different orders. So what are the order, like you put in the same order, the rule will execute. So order 1, the criteria is basically, I would say, name is not equal to null or email is not equal to null. So why the company may have a multiple rule criteria means, if the inquiry received from India, put a different email template. If the inquiry received from US, put a different email template. If the inquiry received from UK, put a different email template. Yeah. So at the time you may need to have a multiple rule entry. Rule entry 1, country is equal to India, use this template. If next rule entry is 2, country is equal to US, use different email template. Yeah. So you can design it. So at the moment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead with the like email. Email is not equal to null. Basically, this is from email ID. So I will say like a from name is Salesforce training And the registered email ID is, I'm going to use my, see, if whatever you entered the email ID, if it's not registered in Salesforce, you can go ahead and register